Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I thank you guys for being here. I got something new here, as you might see up here. A couple of guys that have been in the Discord have kind of, put their own little spin on potentially what could happen if the NHL were to have just one more big expansion. And I kind of came up with my ideas of who these last four teams could be and where they might be, where they could be. But before I get into that, if you are new to the channel, I welcome you. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, it'd be awesome if you hit like and subscribe. If you definitely enjoyed the video, hopefully maybe you'll hit that. And if you've been here before and you just haven't gotten around to hitting like and subscribe yet, go ahead and do it. Because there's about I think it's like 64% of people that watch my channel are not subscribed yet. So it'd be fantastic if you would do that. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. So I kind of came up with this, or at least I kind of came up with my particular list of what a 36-team NHL would look like. Now, you would have to have 6 divisions, because a 36-team NHL, I don't think could have 4 divisions with 9 teams in each. I think that might be a little bit much. So what I've done is I've split them into 6 divisions, and I have totally scrapped the geographical names. I've gone back to the old school. The Clarence Campbell Conference and the Prince of Wales Conference with the old division names, with 2 new divisions in it. And I was trying to think of names for those divisions, and I came up with, two other legendary players that play in the NHL that I think would be a perfect addition. And that is the Gretzky division and the Howe division. And you'll find out why, as I go through this, why their particular names are in there. But right now, as we start this, we're going to start in the Campbell Conference in the Norris Division. Now these are in no particular order. This isn't how I have them, ranked or placed for standing wise or whatever. But this is just totally random order. So the Norris Division, we start out with the Minnesota Wild. Because, the Minnesota North Stars win the old Norris Division. So to me, it just kind of makes sense. The second team in the Norris I would have, of course, where did the North Stars go to? They went to Dallas and became the Dallas Stars. So I have the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild so far in the Norris Division. Now, this is one of the new teams. One of the new teams that I figured would come into this 30-team NHL, and it's this team, because they have talked about this as a potential expansion team or a potential relocation. And that is that's kind of what I named them, the Houston Aeros. They've had the name before. Any of the minor league teams that have been in Houston, they've been called the Aeros, so why not go back to that name? So the Houston Aeros are one of the new teams that come into a 36-team NHL, and I have them in the Norris Division. Why not? Same division as the Dallas Stars. You've got that natural rivalry there, or what could be a natural rivalry there. So it just kind of makes sense. The Houston Aeros end up in the Norris Division. Now, Another team in the Norris Division, and this will look very, very similar to, how it was back in the day. Also here in the Norris Division, you have, of course, a classic team. You have the Chicago Blackhawks. They are in the Norris Division, of course. Because, why wouldn't they? The fifth team that I have in the Norris Division, of course, another old classic Norris Division team, is, of course, the St. Louis Blues. They are just, they've always been in the Norris Division, or at least, what then became kind of the Central Division or whatever. But then the sixth team in the Norris Division, and again, I kind of, some of these divisions I try to kind of keep geographically somewhat close, but, some of these as we go through are not exactly geographically close, kind of. But, so the sixth team I have in the Norris Division is this team. The team that is currently the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Colorado Avalanche. So that is, in my version of a 36-team NHL, with the old school names, the Norris Division is the Minnesota Wild, the Dallas Stars, the Houston Aeros, the Chicago Blackhawks, St. Louis Blues, and Colorado Avalanche. So that's the Norris Division. We move on now to the old school Smythe Division. Some of these teams, again, they'll look familiar in these divisions. The Smythe Division starts out with this team. The Los Angeles Kings. They start out in the Smythe, they end up in the Smythe Division in this new 36-team league. And, why not? They were in the Smythe Division for a long time. The second team in the Smythe Division, of course, it's another California team. When they came into the NHL, they were in the Smythe Division, the San Jose Sharks. So they are in the Smythe Division along with LA. The third team, the third California team, of course, that would be the Anaheim Ducks, or hopefully maybe at some point if they go back to the original name, if they go back to the original logo, just, recolorized in the current colors, maybe they'll take back the old logo, maybe take back the old name. Then you can rename them the Mighty Ducks again. But in the Smythe Division, so far, we got the three California teams. Now here's another one. Number 4. This is another classic Smythe Division team. We got the Vancouver Canucks. Another classic Smythe Division team. We've got that, we kind of keep that rivalry going that they have with the California teams. Now, you're probably thinking too, well, okay, if Vancouver's there, where does where does the Kraken go? Well, the Kraken goes right here. The Kraken joined the Smythe Division along with the Vancouver Canucks. So again, it just kind of makes sense. And they're not that far apart. Vancouver, Seattle, it's not too bad. Now, the sixth team in the division, it's another one of the new teams. One of the people on Discord suggested this particular spot for an NHL team, which actually I thought at first, I was like, I don't know about that. But then I thought, It actually wouldn't be necessarily that far, especially from Seattle. And this is the team name that I gave these guys, this team, because they kind of have, they use these sled dogs to get around. I put a team in Anchorage, Alaska. The Anchorage Huskies. How do you get around Alaska? Well, what do they use for the Iditarod? They use sled dogs. What are those dogs? Huskies. So it's only fitting, I think, that we have the Alaska Huskies, or the Anchorage Alaska Huskies. I just put, Alaska Huskies because we'll just cover the whole state. So I have them in the newly reborn Smythe Division, with the LA Kings, the San Jose Sharks, the Anaheim Ducks, the Vancouver Canucks, Seattle Kraken, and the Alaska Huskies. Interesting setup for sure. And especially those three play. I mean, obviously you got the three California teams; they're all not that far apart. And then of course the Canucks, the Kraken, and the Alaska Huskies. I think those are not terribly far apart either, because when the crab fishermen in Seattle go crab fishing, where do they go? They go to Alaska, and they can sail there. So that is my Smythe Division in the 36 team league. Now, the new division in the newly reborn Campbell Conference is the Wayne Gretzky Division. You'll see why. But the first team that we start off with in the new Gretzky Division is this team. We'll start out with the Nashville Predators. We'll put them in the new Gretzky Division. Like I said, some of these might not exactly be totally geographically close, but neither were the old school divisions. They weren't really geographically close either. Now the second team, you'll know why this is known as the Gretzky Division. You can't have a division named after Wayne Gretzky and not have it have the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, what better division to have it named than, a legendary player who won 4 Stanley Cups with the Edmonton Oilers. So I think it's very fitting that the Edmonton Oilers are in the new Gretzky Division. Now, to go along with Edmonton and Nashville here, this is a familiar opponent for the Oilers especially. In the new Gretzky Division, you have the Calgary Flames. The Battle of Alberta. I mean, can you really have them can you really have them not be in the same division? That's just my thought. It's only fitting they be in the same division. Number 4 out of the 6 in the new Gretzky Division is this team. And that is the Vegas Golden Knights. I have them in the new Gretzky Division. And I definitely don't think it's, it's kind of fitting that they be in that division with Edmonton and Calgary. So, number 5 in the new Gretzky Division is these guys. A team for a long time that people have wondered why they're still in where they are. They may get a new arena, they may not, we're not sure. The Arizona Coyotes are in the new Gretzky Division. Whether or not they stay in Arizona, we don't know. they're playing out of They're playing out of Arizona State this season, and so I have them in the new Gretzky division. And rounding out the newly reborn Campbell Conference and rounding out the new Gretzky division is, of course, the Winnipeg Jets. So that, to me, in a 36-team NHL, that is the setup. That is where I think the teams will all be, placed, I think, pretty well. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Obviously, where would you guys put these 18 teams in the newly formed Campbell Conference, newly reformed Campbell Conference? Where would you put them? Love to know what you guys think. Now, we move on to the newly reborn Wales Conference. Again, I'm going old school team name, old school conference names, division names, all that. So the Adams Division will consist of this particular team. Will have them. We have the Montreal Canadiens in the reformed Adams Division, in the newly realigned Adams Division, the Montreal Canadiens. I think that's, kind of fitting. The second team I have in the Adams Division, it's another one of the new teams. Another one of the newer teams. And of course, when you have the Canadiens in one division, to bring these guys back into the league, you have to put them with Montreal, the Quebec Nordiques. The Nordiques come back in the 36-team NHL. The Nordiques finally come back into the league, and again, you can't not have them in the same division with Montreal. I mean, you've got that national rivalry there. And I think that's a rivalry that could be reborn. And I think it would be a lot of fun. Now, one of the other teams, this is the fourth new team. It's a team, again, that comes back into the league. They liked the team here. They had an owner that, for whatever reason, just didn't want to really keep them in heart in where they were. And we bring back the Hartford Whalers. So we have the Nordiques and the Whalers back in the NHL. And they're in the same division. Of course, why wouldn't they? So that is where the Hartford Whalers slot in. Then, of course, you have, this is a team that definitely has a rivalry with these other three, and it is these guys. Old Beantown, the Boston Bruins. Does this feel like the old Adams Division? Because it certainly looks like it. The Canadians, the Nordiques, the Whalers, and Bruins, like it. Like it a lot. Now to round out, well, not totally round out, but to round out what was the old Adams Division is these guys. And if anybody who's followed hockey for a long time, they know the old Adams Division, you have the Buffalo Sabres. So you have the old Adams Division right here. The Canadians, Nordiques, Whalers, Bruins, Sabres. That's the old Adams Division. And, but in the 36-team NHL, you got a sixth team here. Who do you put there in the newly christened Adams Division? Here's what I put. And I think this could be an interesting rivalry if this were to happen also. The team that initially moved from Hartford to Carolina, we put the Carolina Hurricanes in the newly reformed Adams Division. And all of these teams have a natural rivalry. All of them. Think of the rivalry that you could have with the Hartford, the reborn Hartford Whalers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Just like how it was when the Minnesota Wild came into the NHL and we had that rivalry with the Dallas Stars, which we have that over here. So that is the newly reformed Adams Division. Now the newly reformed Patrick Division, this is going to look something similar too. The Patrick Division, we're going to have the Pittsburgh Penguins, another classic division, another classic Patrick Division team. When they won their first 2 Stanley Cups, they came out of the Patrick Division. So, it's only fitting that they be back in the Patrick Division. One of the other teams that I have also in the Patrick Division, again, this will look very familiar. It is this team. The Washington Capitals. They're currently division rivals right now as it is in the Metro Division. And, the newly reformed Patrick Division, I think that's only fitting. A third team that's in the newly reborn Patrick Division is, team do I have written here? Okay. Is these guys. The New York Islanders, another classic Patrick Division team. And again, I just think it's only fitting. Fourth team that I have in the Patrick Division, of course, you have the Islanders, so you can't have the Islanders and not have the New York Rangers along with it. So that is, again, that's the old school Patrick Division going on right now. Basically, the newly reborn Patrick Division is not really going to look any different than the old one. Because the fifth team in the division is this team. You have the Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, you got the natural rivalry with, the Battle of Pennsylvania. And then, of course, you got the Islanders, the Rangers. So the sixth team in the Patrick Division, of course, is this team right across the river. The New Jersey Devils. So the Patrick Division basically looks exactly like it did back in the late 80s, early 90s. There's no real change there. It's, the Penguins, Caps, Islanders, Rangers, Flyers, and Devils. Now, the new division over here. The newly rechristened, or the newly christened Gordie Howe Division. Again, you'll see why. The first team we have in the new Howe Division is this team. And no, it's not the team you're thinking. We have the Ottawa Senators. They are in the newly formed Howe Division. The second team that I have in the Howe Division are these guys, and no, it's still not who you think. The Toronto Maple Leafs. I think they would be an interesting addition to the new Howe Division. And number 3 in the new Howe Division, of course, why do we have it named the Howe Division? Because this team is here. The Detroit Red Wings. When I was looking at this, when I was putting this together, I was trying to think of 2 new names to put for these new divisions. And when I was looking at this and I was looking at that new division, I'm like, who can I name that after? And then I saw, okay, I've got Detroit there. I'm like, Gordie Howe. Only fitting, right? So the Red Wings are in the new Howe Division. Team number 4 in the new Howe Division is this is one. The Columbus Blue Jackets end up in the new Gordie Howe Division. Because now we're just getting down to who's left. Then the second to last team in the newly formed Howe Division is these guys. This is a team that they know what success is all about, especially over the last couple of years. You have the Tampa Bay Lightning in the new Howe Division. So that just leaves one team left. Last, but not necessarily least, is the other Florida team. You have the Florida Panthers. So that is my new 36-team National Hockey League. If they were to do one more big expansion and expand to 36 teams, that is the way I would have it set up. Of course, the new teams, the Houston Aeros, the Alaska Huskies, of course, the Quebec Nordiques, and the Hartford Whalers. I was also looking, too, at playoff setups. You wouldn't be able to necessarily do this in the way that it's set up now. I think you would almost have to do it like it was back the last time we had 6 teams in the divisions, with the the 3 division winners. The 3 division winners get the top 3 seeds. And then, of course, 4 through 8 would be based on points. So basically, as much as I love the divisional setup, I think you would have to go back to the top 8. I think you'd have to do the 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. Because I don't necessarily see the the wild card or the divisional setup being able to work with 3 divisions in each conference. So I think you would have to have a top 8 a top 8 style setup. The the 3 division winners, of course, getting the first, second, and third seed. Of course, all based on points. If whoever finishes first in these divisions based on points gets, of course, the number 1, the number 2, or the number 3 seed. And then you go by points by the rest of them. Now, what you could possibly do also is you could maybe do, trying to think how would that work? Could you potentially do, I don't know. I don't know if adding like a wild card round or an extra wild card round with like 2 teams, with like 2 or 4 teams like playing play-ins to see who gets like the last couple of spots. I don't know if that would necessarily work. I mean, it maybe could, but I don't know. As of right now though, I have it's a 16 team playoff still. Top 3 division winners get the top 3 seeds. Teams 4 through 8 will get in based on points. And of course, I'm pretty sure, you would have some teams that, would miss the playoffs because they're in a tough division. They'd miss the playoffs here. If they were in the other conference, they'd make the playoffs. You probably would see that a few times. And, I mean, that's going to happen, obviously, but yeah. So that is my 36-team NHL National Hockey League with the old school division and conference names, 2 new divisions, and of course the playoffs would have to be similar to how it was when the NHL was a 6-division league just a few years back, with of course the 2 new divisions. And I think that's a pretty good setup. I really do. I think that's pretty I definitely like it. I'd love to know what you guys think. Would you guys change some of these divisions? How would you maybe change them? Do you like where some of these teams are? Would you maybe switch one team, kind of swap teams from one division to another? Love to know what you guys think about that. And of course, what do you think about the potential playoffs in a 36-team league going back to the top 8, with the top 3 seeds getting the 3 division winners getting the 1, 2, and 3 seeds? I'd love to know what you guys think about that. And again, would you change anything? Would you swap teams around? Who would you do? Who would you move around? Where would you move them? I'd love to know what you guys think. And I thank you guys very much for being here. And again, if you were new to the channel, hopefully you were able to make it all the way through. If you were, it'd be greatly appreciated if you were to hit the like and subscribe button. Because the more likes, the more comments, the more the YouTube algorithm can get the channel out to more people. And of course I'll leave the description for the Patreon page down in the description. And so that is my 36-team NHL. Let me know what you guys think. Who would you have? Where would you put them? I'd love to know. And I thank you guys so much for you guys being here. Again, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you later.